My name is Emmy Utes, and I did my research project over does product placement really affect consumer decisions? My initial hypothesis was that product placement does not affect consumer making decisions. The reason I think that it won't affect it is because when I go shopping, I'm all about my list. So I always make a list before I go, and then I really follow that script to a T. I'm kind of a creature of habit, so I know where the bread is, that's where I'm going to buy my bread. I know where the cereal is, that's where I'm going to buy my cereal. I understand that not a lot of people are like that, but that's just what I'm going off of for my experiment. Some questions that needed to be asked about this topic are, where do they need to go? Where do these displays, where do the products, where do they need to be put in order to attract attention? What spots generate sales and bulk buys? Do certain spots make people want to buy more of a product? Do certain spots make people just add one to their cart? Stuff like that. Is the high price of the real estate at the grocery store worth the payoff of how much they will make off of that sale? And does this work for all products, or is this just specialty products, impulse buy products, stuff like that? Okay, so originally I was going to collect first-hand data, first-hand research. I was going to go to the store and do it that way to get information that directly related to my topic. However, with the COVID-19 outbreak, I had to modify that plan and rely strictly on literature. If I was going to conduct primary research, my steps of attack would have been to obtain permission from the grocery store, because that's important. Then I would monitor the display, like the specialty spot where the product was, that it usually isn't there. I would monitor that. I would probably stay there for about 30 to 40 minutes, just really pencil and paper, writing down what I see, keeping numbers, having a tally, stuff like that. Even just kind of making notes if they grabbed it or if they just spent a little extra time looking at it. Then I would go monitor the normal location where that same exact product usually would be kept, or maybe is also being kept at the same time. Same thing, pencil and paper, monitoring, taking notes, tallies, all that. After that, I would calculate and compare the two. I would see which one maybe people spent more time at, which one equal to more sales, which one equal to bulk sales, repeat sales, people grab a whole bunch of them or just one, stuff like that. And then I would repeat this several times on several different days, possibly even at several different locations of that store. Then I would put it all into an Excel sheet because we all love Excel. Okay, then review of literature. So the first article that I really looked heavily into was called How Tobacco Companies Ensure Prime Placement of Their Advertising and Products in Stores. Okay, so a quick summary of that article. They focused a lot on point of sales and the exact retail environment that they were kind of looking at. Point of sales being like marketing when you would buy that product, not necessarily like TV ads, just really strict on point of sales marketing and displays. They also talked a lot about volume-based discounts and offering incentives to buying more, price reductions, giveaways, stuff like that. And then they stated that 81% of marketing dollars were spent towards the point of sale store sales. So that means they don't really mess a ton around with marketing other than in the actual store on the displays, ensuring prime real estate, stuff like that. Findings, they said historically if a store doesn't sell well, they won't spend their time or money there. They kind of know the places that they make the majority of their money, and that's where they're pumping more money into and working on improving those spots. They also talked about how you have to keep up with the competitors. So as the competitor increased their marketing budget and how much money they were putting into displays, they kind of had to match that and keep up with that, and in turn that kept driving sales. The more they put into that, the more sales went up. They also talked about prime locations outweigh quality marketing. This meant that even if they just had a really, really, really good spot with a just cheap little sign that said their brand name or whatever, that was way better than spending lots of money on a marketing campaign and not having it in a great spot. This matters because it proves that the price of end caps and other display spots are worth it. It's obviously very expensive, and they spend lots of money kind of pumping it into their displays and to ensure the prime spots, and it proves to be worth it. The next article I looked at was called Sales Impact of Displaying Alcohol and Non-Alcoholic Beverages in End-of-Aisle Locations. A summary of this article was that they changed where they placed alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. They just kind of moved them around in the store, putting them in different spots, seeing how they worked out, and then they monitored those spots to see how well those spots drove sales, and if they made more people stop and look at the product and put the product in their cart. They found that 30% of alcohol sales were due to end cap locations, and then they found that non-alcoholic drinks increased by 52 to 114%, which is pretty crazy. It's kind of a lot. So why does this matter? This matters because numbers don't lie. Another important thing is that different products and different markets have similar effects. For example, when I was doing this, part of me was thinking maybe just like products like cigarettes and alcohol were getting people to buy it because they're impulse buys, or they just made them think about buying it. But since they put non-alcoholic drinks too, and people don't really get addicted to non-alcoholic drinks, it kind of showed me that this works for more products, not just the addictive impulse buy products. Okay, so then data analysis. I said that my hypothesis is wrong for the most part. I still think that some people are probably like me in the fact that they have a list and a plan and kind of stick to it. I'd like to actually do some real research where I kind of get in there and look at it. Obviously, when the COVID stuff's done, we'll see if that happens, but that would be interesting. I said that it promotes events, so this would be like the picture I have shown here. Obviously, that's kind of a display promoting the Super Bowl, and Pepsi is obviously associated with the Super Bowl, and it's eye-catching, so it might make you want to grab one when you normally wouldn't have. Something that's really big is that it attracts new customers. I think this is big for like the alcohol and stuff like that. If you see a new brand of alcohol or a new flavor or something, you might want to pick it up just because it attracted you. Now you're aware of that brand because you wouldn't have seen it normally. You wouldn't have normally gone to that section, possibly. This also reminds old customers of their product if they haven't bought it in a while, or if they actually do need it or they're about to run out of it at home. It can remind them to grab one there if they forgot to put it on the list. Like I mentioned before, it increases impulse buys. If you're just walking down the street or the aisle, whatever, you see a 12-pack, you might want to pick it up if you just decide that maybe you want to drink that night, especially with the cigarettes and alcohol, like I already talked about. And obviously, if they're spending hundreds of thousands and however much on these displays, they spend it for a reason. They have lots of research that says that it helps them and is beneficial in the long run. For future research, I would maybe try different products, maybe comparing what products sell better in the displays. For example, like I could test chips versus pop, something like that. I could also try different stores, Walmart, Hy-Vee, Target. Could also do different types of stores, different types of products, gas stations, convenience stores, toy stores, anything kind of like that. Even like car stores you could maybe do if you had a certain car on display. Then I would monitor specific customers, follow them around, maybe take more notes on them, get really specific and detailed on what they do and why they do it. Notice what they're looking at, watch as they're making decisions, see what they're going to buy. Like, were they planning on buying that originally, or did the display just make them want to buy it?